Welcome back to Tiny Grimes Games, and today I bring you your first elite squad, your dream team, if you will, in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And the reason why you need an elite squad in this game is two reasons. You need to be able to have 5 guys that you can throw together that can do well in the squad arena, because the better you do, first of all, the higher number you get, which always feels great. But more importantly, the more resources you get for climbing the ladder. So if you're top 500, you're getting 600 shipments, 700, 725, so forth. The second reason is to be able to do full clears of Galactic War or push as far as humanly possible. A full clear gives you right around 1,200 of these shards, and these shards give you a wide variety of guys. Okay, so unfortunately, this is not a game where you can get all of the guys available to you, especially if you're trying to be a free-to-play player like I am. Acquiring all these guys is going to take you a long time. So rather than trying to acquire a wide, diverse set of characters, your goal is going to be to hone in on 5 guys to make a really good squad. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through what your choices are. You basically have 4 sets of resources that you're going to have to dedicate to one character each. The first one is the squad arena. And so if you go into shipments, there are all these characters. You're going to get, at least in the beginning, 5 shards a day from here. And so you're going to have to choose who do you want. Now, there are some really cool characters in here. There's Sidious, Stormtrooper Han, IG-88. I personally have a thing for Asajj Ventress. I don't know, maybe there's something wrong with me. And I know for myself, I noticed, okay, Sidious would be cool, but he costs 80 to unlock. That's going to take a while. And Ventress only costs 50. So I went for Ventress first. That was a mistake. As you can see, when you look at my team, I don't even have her leveled to 60 yet. I gave up on her about 50. The reason? Because it costs a fortune to level someone from 50 to 60. It would cost me $647,000 just to train her up the rest of the way. That is a ton. And that is the reason why you can't just get a whole slew of characters. In addition to not being able to get the shards for everyone, even if you could unlock every single guy, you would still have to make very careful choices about who you're going to throw all of your hard-earned money into. Are you going to bring Ventress up to 60, or would you rather have someone like Sidious? Okay, so that's the first resource spot. The second one is in the squad cantina battles themselves. You get quite a few resources every day, and there's a number of interesting choices. To me, the top 2 choices in here for now would be Chewbacca and the Jedi Consular. I'll talk about why I prefer the Jedi Consular in a minute. The person that I would like to spend all my shards on is Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker is awesome, but unfortunately he's not that good right now. So if you spend all your resources on him in here, you're going to be missing out on getting a character that can really carry you through farther and let you farm more and more resources. That's a good way to think of it, that this elite squad, it's your farming team that you're making. Okay, so those are the first 2. The third one is the Galactic War, and as I said, you get a ton of resources here. You want to get to a point where you're full clear farming this as soon as possible. Unfortunately, there's not as many interesting characters in this spot, but there is Luminara, and she is pretty awesome. The Tusken Raider's okay. Poggle the Lesser is quite good in a robots deck, but you're probably not going to be getting a robots deck anytime soon. And the last spot is back to the squad cantina battles, but in the shipments. In these shipments, basically it's Boba Fett is good, Fives is pretty good, and Old Daka is quite good if you want a healer. So let's talk about then where the meta stands right now and what I recommend and who I recommend. So right now, healers are very strong. In fact, a lot of people bought the package to get Barriss Offee, who is a very good healer. Now, if you are the free-to-play player like me, it's not that likely you have her. I actually got her on another account, just in one of my Bronzium packs. But on this account, I don't have her. This is my main account. I'm very sad. I don't have her. She's a great healer. But a way to get around this healing meta is with Darth Sidious. And Darth Sidious is quite strong. He has an ability where he provides healing immunity to somebody. So if they have a Chewbacca as their tank and they're just healing him over and over, Sidious can whack him. All of a sudden he's immune to healing, and now you have that opportunity to kill him. He also has an AoE attack. Personally, I don't use it that much right now. AoE isn't that strong. A lot of people have Count Dooku. It just basically comes back on Darth Sidious and gets him hit in the face. But his leader ability is quite good as well, as he gives everyone crit chance and crit damage. So he's very good. And I'll give you a little insider scoop. The metagame has now changed. This is the third metagame that we're on now, and Darth Sidious has been good in all three. So that's a really important note, that he seems to be a character that's always good. So I think he's worth investing all of your squad arena shipments into. Just get him all the way to level 7. It's going to be so tempting to get him to 4 and go, oh, I'd really like IG-88, because when I do my dark side battles, I just have this terrible lineup of like Talia and all these other guys that I don't want. I want to have cool guys. I want to have Darth Sidious and IG-88. Don't do it. Just get your Sidious to level 7 so that you can farm more and more and more stuff. Okay, so the Jedi Consular is what I think you should use your Squad Cantina resources on. The problem is you're not going to be able to do that until 3A, and that's not going to unlock for a little while. So we'll talk about where you're going to spend that until you unlock this. But once you unlock 3A, dump them all into him. You're going to be able to get him leveled up really quickly. You start with him at the beginning, which is even better. That means you can take all of your resources, pump them into the Counselor. You can take all of your ability mats, pump them into the Counselor. The Counselor has a few advantages that other characters don't have. If you notice, his gear level is 8 already. Yes, he is constricted to go any farther, but he's level 8. Most characters are stopped at level 7. So if you look at somebody like Sidious, he's level 7. I would love for him to be higher, but nope, he has to be level 61 to go higher. Oh, cruel, cruel world, since the max is 60. So he's maxed at 7. Not the case for the Counselor. And these upgrades, when you level up, it's so much help. Gear is so important in this game. So gear up that Counselor right from the jump. Make him amazing. One of the reasons why he's so good is in Galactic Wars, his Jedi healing, the cooldown comes down quite a bit as you're leveling him. So you are able to spam his heals much more often. And Galactic Wars is all about a war of attrition, right? If you've played it, you know the damage carries over. And so you're trying to figure out, like, okay, when do I heal? Do I need a heal at the start of the next battle in case they start off with double AoEs on me? How do I handle this? Well, the Counselor fixes a lot of that by having a spammable heal. You pretty much always have it up. He is really fantastic. I recommend getting him for sure. All right, what I recommend getting out of your Galactic Wars shipments is Luminara. She's really strong as well. She has a very strong heal that doesn't just heal, but he heals over time as well. So once you get her abilities up, over the next 2 turns, when they start their turn, boom, more heal, more heal. This is so strong for Galactic Wars, as we were talking about. It's all about, fighting the war of attrition, and she fights it very well. Her Force Blast is excellent, hits people. It even does ability block as well, which is really strong. So if you're facing that Barriss Offee and you know she's just about to heal up whoever it is, boom, you Force Blast her. Now she can't heal somebody up that turn, and you're on your way. And she doesn't hit that weak either for a healer. So she's very strong. So I would say these are the 3 really obvious choices. All 3 of their resources are fairly plentiful. If you just focus them, you'll get them to 7 stars before too long. Now the 4th spot we talked about was the Squad Cantina shipments. And I gotta say, these resources are not plentiful. They come in at a drip. And so it's very difficult to figure out who do you want. I was fortunate and got Old Daka in packs. And so I've been investing my shards into her to grow her so that she would be a level 5. But I've stopped there because it's so expensive to use these. You just don't get that many. And I'm sort of waiting to see, is the meta going to change? Do I really need 3 healers? Old Daka doesn't have that many hit points. She has a really weak heal. She has a revive, which is really cool, but it doesn't get used very often. Oftentimes it misses, and it's very frustrating. You're like, okay, Sidious died, but that's okay. I have Old Daka. Whiff. Oh, that's a sad day. Boba Fett is pretty cool because he has a really strong AoE. He has a very strong single attack. He has a revival himself. I actually fought against a Boba Fett that revived himself 7 times in a row. I was ready to bash my head into the screen. But the point is, he's really strong, but I'm not really sure who you want to get. If you don't have anyone and you're starting from scratch, I think I would probably recommend Boba Fett over Old Daka, but Old Daka can be good. This might be a spot where you want to wait until after episode 7 comes out to see if there's a big patch and a meta shift and sort of go from there. Because for all we know, healers aren't going to be that good in the new meta. When Jawas were on top, healers were pretty much worthless. The Jawas would just go AoE, 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 everyone's dead. You have healers? Your healers are all dead. Right now, that's not how the game is played, thankfully. And I don't think we're going to go back to that metagame. But if we do, healers would be worthless. So going all in for 3 healers might not be the wisest decision. Like I said, perhaps Boba Fett is a wiser decision. I have gotten Boba Fett as well, but I don't even have him up to level 60 yet because it would cost me $570,000 and he doesn't fit into my current lineup. Okay, so then the 5th slot is sort of the random slot. So you have your 4 resource points, and the 5th one is the most difficult one because it's the one that you're not going to be able to get to level 7 very soon because you're going to have to grind shards to get them, which is very time consuming. For instance, Count Dooku I got on day 1. He's 5 stars only. He still has a long way to go. There's only 2 places you can farm. It takes forever to farm him. Another possibility is Chewbacca. And the reason I say that is I told you already that there was an issue with the galactic shipments or the galactic the squad cantina that you can't unlock the consular till 3A. Well, you can unlock Chewbacca right away on 1C. And so what I would recommend is dumping all of these into Chewbacca until you unlock the consular. And if you've done that, you already have a pretty decent Chewbacca. And right now in the metagame, Chewbacca is not amazing, but he's pretty good. If you get him up to 4 or 5 stars, he's not a bad tank. He's definitely serviceable. I would definitely recommend Count Dooku. I told you I'm a free-to-play player. I'm assuming you are. If you're not a free player, good for you. I have nothing against the pay-to-play player. It makes my life easier that I don't have to pay, get all your packs, get anyone you want. But Count Dooku is worth the $5 in my opinion. He's such a good early game and mid-game character. And even though he's not 7 stars, he's still great. His Force Lightning is so good in this metagame. There's a lot of Jedi healers out there. There is Barriss Offee, the other Jedi healers, and he stuns them regularly. What is his stun? Like 90%? Yeah, it's 90% he'll stun that Jedi. And then there's a 40% chance he's going to stun somebody else as well. So he's very strong. In addition to that, he punishes AoE very strongly. Anyone who tries to do a mass attack, it doesn't attack for very much, but it hits everyone. Well, it hits Count Dooku, and then he comes back in your face and whaps you. So Count Dooku is an interesting character because when it was early, I definitely said, wow, I'm so happy I bought him. Moving on, as I progress, I'm thinking like, I don't know how much longer I'm going to use this guy because pretty soon, IG-88, if you've noticed, I'm maxed out on Sidious, so I'm putting all my arena stuff into IG-88. He's going to be 7 stars pretty quick. And when I have a 7-star IG-88, he may just be better than Count Dooku. So that's where the question comes in. What's going to be really interesting is when the new cards drop, which there's going to be something with Episode 7. EA would be crazy not to. The metagame is going to shift, and we're going to have to figure out who's good, what are the best lineups looking like now. But I think you're pretty safe with assuming Sidious, Consular, and Luminara will be good. Will they be the best in the new metagame? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But I think they're a very safe bet of someone to invest in. So if I were you and you weren't going to spend 1 nickel on this game, I would say get Darth Sidious, get the Consular, get Luminara, buff up your Chewbacca, and whatever other good character you get, buff that character. Maybe that's just going to be a Jawa. Maybe you don't get anything. You just whiff. I would say Talia is probably not that great. But maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe you'll get an IG-88. And maybe you'll get Barriss Offee. Maybe you'll get something like that and then buff that character. So real quick, I'll tell you the characters I think you should be excited about if you do get. Barriss Offee, I've mentioned her a few times. She's just fantastic. And the reason is because her heal is so good. I told you before that Darth Sidious is amazing in this metagame because he crushes healing. He hits you, they're no longer immune. You can focus that guy down without them being able to heal him. Well, that's not true if your opponent has Barriss Offee, because she doesn't say heal, she says all allies have their current health percentages equalized. That's very different. It's not a heal, technically. It's an equalizing. And so it's incredibly frustrating. The way I deal with her is to try to stun her with Sidious or stun her with Luminaro while I'm focusing down the one guy I really need to focus down. But she's fantastic. If you get her in a pack, be real excited. Another guy that you should probably be excited about is the Ewok Elder. I haven't got to use him yet, but he's really strong. He has an ability where, if you remember, I said that Old Daka gives you a chance to revive someone who's been defeated. The Elder does. He just flat out revives somebody. That seems incredibly strong to me. I'm excited to give him a try, but again, I don't have him. Some other characters that are really strong. I would say Anakin is interesting because he, like Sidious, has this healing immunity. It's not as good as Sidious is because it's only a 50% chance that it hits. Actually, was it 25% chance in the beginning? I think it goes up to about 50%. So it's good, but friends of mine who have gotten him have been very excited and then said, at the key moment when I need him to put healing immunity, he always misses. So he's kind of a frustrating character. HK-47 is interesting. He has that self-revival mechanic. Boba Fett's very good. IG-88 is good. So there are a number of characters that if you get them, you can focus as their fifth. But you're sort of left trying to figure out who's going to be that fifth guy. You have your 4 resource points in Sidious, Counselor, Luminara, and whoever you choose between Old Daka and Boba Fett. And then after that, you're going to have to decide. Is it Chewbacca? Is it Jawa? Is it somebody you opened? But either way, even with these 3 in Sidious, Counselor, and Luminara, you're really on your way to be able to do very well in both the arena and the Galactic Wars. So I'm rooting for you to get your elite squad up to par as soon as possible. Check back for more videos where I'll be talking about the metagame as it evolves, as it already has twice before this, and you can be assured it will again. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you soon on Tiny Grams Games.